What does gutsy mean to you?
Gutsy's stepping through that fear. It's showing up as your authentic self and not giving a shit what anybody else thinks and doing what lights you up.
Welcome to the Gutsy Podcast, the show where you learn how to own what you actually want and shift the mind junk that's been holding you back. I'm Laura Ora, keynote speaker, coach, and your guide to help you get clarity, build confidence, and make the gutsy moves that change your life. Each week, I'm going to help you simplify things by teaching you how to get out of your head while stepping into action. This way you can achieve all those life shifts that you've been overthinking. Your desire, that drives you. But gutsy, that's what gets it done. We all have a chakra system within our physical and energetic body. This is the system that allows you to tap in, take risks, and form a deeper sense of connection to yourself and to others. You have the ability to shift your reality by healing yourself from the inside out, but all that information out there can be really overwhelming, and the fear of doing it the quote-unquote right way holds a lot of people back. Today, we're going to talk to Holy Fire Reiki Master Katie Moore to learn the foundational information for what chakras even are, how you can tell if they're out of alignment, and a simple method to rebalance your energy from the inside out. Katie is the founder of Cosmic Vibrational Healing and a dedicated channel, color mirrors teacher, Holy Fire Reiki master teacher, and energy healer. With a profound passion for guiding others on their healing journeys, Katie specializes in empowering individuals to heal themselves and connect with their divine essence. She's also pretty badass at past life healings and helps clients uncover and release deep-seated patterns leading to transformative and lasting change. Before we chat with Katie, if you have been craving being around other like-minded people that are ambitious, that are driven, that are wanting to make change, they just don't want to do it alone anymore and just need some guidance to know how, then listen, I'm telling you, the Gutsy Collective is going to rock your fucking world in the best of ways. Women come into the Gutsy Collective because they are ready to get past the point where they typically talk themselves out of it. One of our members once described the Gutsy Collective as this place where all the weird furniture gets to come in and has a place. She was like, I'm like a weird piece of furniture. I don't fit anywhere else, but I fit here. You fit here, my friend. I invite you to join us. The first 2 weeks are on me. I want you to come in and experience the power of the transformation and the support that you'll get. Go to lauraora.com/Gutsy Collective and sign up to get your free access right now. All right, my friend, this is definitely a pen and paper kind of episode because Katie goes into amazing detail about the different chakras and what they mean and what you can look out for. So grab a pen and paper. Let's get into it. My good friend, Katie, welcome to the Gutsy Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So long story short, friends, Katie and I are good friends. Our sons are in a best friend group. Katie has done amazing Reiki work with everyone in my family and has helped us with a lot of energy movement. So I'm excited to bring her energy and wisdom to you today. So Katie, we're going to talk about chakras today, but first I want to make sure that everyone gets to know you first. So talk to me about your story. What has led you to where you are with us today?
Quite a long story. So let's summarize. When I was 5, I realized that I had healing abilities that were kind of unusual as I healed my cat that had gotten hit by a car with simply intention and prayer, repetitive and hands-on healing. Age 5 or 6, I really didn't know what I was doing. I just trusted my intuition. Through years that followed, of course, just like any other adult, I have turned my gifts off in times of trauma, drama, abuse, and then they come right back to the surface. In 2020, I wasn't in alignment and I said, I don't like my job, and walked out the door and broke both my ankles and shattered my right leg. It's about the time that you and I met.
It is. I remember meeting you in your boot.
And I've been doing this ever since. I take about any type of healing modality that I'm drawn to. I don't question it, don't second guess it. If I'm drawn to it, I'm supposed to do it. I feel that should be kind of what everybody does. If you're drawn to it and it lights you up, you need to step into it. Since then, I have done Holy Fire Reiki, master teacher, Karuna Holy Fire, master teacher. I teach color mirrors, healing system, which is something that most people don't know about, but it's, I think, the most powerful healing modality. I've stepped away from a lot of healing, and mostly what I do right now is teaching.
Amazing. You've had quite a journey, and I think that you said something really important, which is, learning to lean in and just trust those things when you feel drawn to them. Because our mind wants to talk us out of it, and it backs out and it starts to overthink things, but your soul, your body, your energy, it just knows. And when you lean into those things, there's always something there for you.
When you start questioning the how, that's when it doesn't happen. If you
Mm,
just say yes, you show up and you say yes, if you're in alignment with it, the universe is going to make it happen. It's not going to happen the way that you think it's going to happen. It's going to happen the exact opposite, like breaking my leg. That really wasn't any intention that I had, but it set me up to do what I'm doing full time.
yeah, I mean it's such an interesting thing, right? You walk out, you break both of your legs, and that forced you into the path. Did you, leading up to that, did you have ideas that you wanted to step into this healing role full time? Like, were you thinking about it and you were resisting it?
Oh yeah, I had the same thing that I hear all the time that's actually a trigger for me when people say this is it's not the right time.
Hmm.
If I had this much money, if I lived in a new house, I can't because I'm a mother. Everybody else depends on me. What if I'm not available? I don't have money to, set up all the technology things. Right now, I operate off of Facebook. I don't pay for Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need all the extra stuff set up. You just need to say yes and step into it and do it. It's walking through the fear. If the
Hmm.
fear's there, you know you're onto something.
That's very true. I often hear these things where it's like, don't be afraid, you know, basically like almost kind of glamorizing fear. And I'm like, you can't go through life without fear, right? Like when someone tells me don't be afraid, I'm like, it's one of my it's one of all of our superpowers, right? Fear is an indicator. It's information. It's a guide. It just depends if we're going to feed into the fear or if we're going to use it as a guiding force.
You let it light a fire under your ass to propel you forward to get through it is really how I see fear. It's coming on here and doing this. This isn't my ordinary thing, but I'm excited,
Yeah.
right? It's scary, but there's a fire under my ass and let's do the thing. Let's get it done. Like, let me feel the excitement part of it, not just the fear part. And excitement when you can step through the fear.
Yes. And on the other side of that, limitless possibilities. But when you feed into the bigness of fear and let it win and let it stop you, I mean, it's basically like walking around in four walls all day long, expecting to get somewhere.
And you just keep ramming your head into the wall over and over again.
Yep, exactly. So you break your legs, you have this like awakening, as many have had many awakenings, may I say. And then you step into this full time, and so now you're helping people with Reiki and energy healing and all these amazing modalities. I think it would be interesting because you're literally the only healer that I've ever talked to and worked with that has used the color mirrors. So I think it would be interesting if you could tell us a little bit about what those are and how that works with clearing and healing and awakening with the energy.
So when I started with color mirrors, I didn't realize that it was overseen by Melchizedek. Since then, I have been ordained as a priest in the Order of Melchizedek. When was that? Last year, I think. I lose track of when I do things. And that amplified my connection with the bottles even more. So now with the color mirrors, you can actually channel information and words from tapping into the colors, which is just fascinating to me. But color mirrors is a healing system that it originates in South Africa. Um, a woman named Melissa channels the energy of Melchizedek, and it goes into each bottle. And what she had found was that we have all these healing modalities, and none of them are tangible. So Reiki comes out of your body, but you can't hold it in your hand, right?
Right.
Um, any healing modality, if it's really powerful, you still can't hold it in your hand. So the color mirrors, they have a consciousness within the bottle. but it is a bottle. You can hold it. It has a scent. It has a feel to it. The spritzers work with your electromagnetic field kind of in. And so it's almost like your quick fix type energy. And then the bath bottles you can put on your feet, rub them on your chakras. Um, I bathe in it. You get the most benefit from bathing, but you can use them in several different ways. And they work with the language of the DNA. So it's a very deep healing. With the bath bottles, you have the subconscious on the bottom and the consciousness at the top. So it affects your energy on every level, and it provides love to your shadows to help you feel safe in your healing and safe with facing it as it's coming up and out. It's almost like stepping out of yourself and just allowing whatever comes up to come up and out. And there are every color, and then colors that I didn't even know existed in the healing system. And there's chakra bottles, there's 15 chakra bottles. I personally feel like this is the biggest, most transformational healing system that I know that I use.
Wow. And I know that, so disclaimer, when Katie says that this is the one of the deepest forms of healing and shedding, not kidding, because when you utilize these, I've used some myself, and it pulls everything that needs to be healed in that particular manner, or whatever that subject or feeling is. It just yanks that shit right to the surface. And so it's not for the faint of heart. The sprays I do think are I like how you said they're like a quick fix, because it's more just like a kind of in the moment, want to kind of pull the energy forward, or get some movement or enlighten things, right? Those are nice, very approachable. The bath bottles, you need to be ready for anything, because you can't even predict how you might feel. And sometimes it brings up anger, sadness, a whole myriad, like 50 million different emotions, but it also allows you to release them. And I think that's where the true healing really starts to happen.
And it brings up things you didn't know were there. That's
Yeah,
a bit.
that's a pitch. That's a pitch. Oh, the onion of healing. Like, I've already done this work. Why do I still feel like this? Or where did this come from? And I mean, we are multifaceted human beings. We've got a lot of layers and a lot of lives. So you teach.
Like,
What's
I
that?
thought I healed this.
Yes.
That's the best. I thought I healed this. And then there it is, like wide open screaming. And you're like, what the fuck is this? And then you just keep, all right, here we go again. Second time.
Yes. But I mean, what's the alternative though? Keep feeling the way you're feeling,
Or
right? Like,
ignoring.
or ignoring it. It's eventually going to come up and out some way, just in a way less ideal situation. So any kind of healing modality, does it feel great when it's happening? No. Are there aspects that do? Sure. But the alternative is to stay stuck, right? Stay feeling dense or heavy or held back, or dealing with the feelings and emotions that are stopping you. Like, no thanks. No
But I
thanks.
think what I love about this healing system the most is, like, I'm not your healer. But what's the saying? I'm not your guru. Like, I want you to have the tools that you need to heal yourself without every time something happens going, oh, I need to find a healer. Let me spend all my money on having somebody fix me. Well, why are you going to have somebody fix you if you can help yourself? It's
Yeah,
empowerment, is what it is.
absolutely. It sure is. And speaking of empowerment, I want to make sure everyone understands this whole chakra deal. Like, right? Like, we hear about it a lot, we see the colors a lot, but I think that sometimes it gets really, I mean, you can Google just about anything, but I like to hear like good information straight from the source, from people that are using it and are experts in it. So, can you give us an overview first? Like, what are chakras? Where did that come from? Like, what is the deal with these things?
Well, so what I first want you to do is forget everything you've ever read and what you know.
Perfect.
It is the ABC of healing, and we are way beyond the ABC 1, 2, 3. So chakras are energy centers within your body. And if you go into the chakra, it's almost like, I want to say like a black hole or something. You can go so far in it that the energy around it gets absorbed. And so everything just will collapse into the chakra. You can access other dimensions, other timelines, deeper versions of yourself. That's where when you do a soul integration, they merge within your chakras.
Hmm.
They are limitless. And so just these beautiful vortexes of energy that are positioned with and outside of your physical body to help you have a full human experience. It's where your emotions will come up. It's where your intuition is the strongest. And they all communicate with one another, some more strongly than the rest. If you have an issue with, let's say, your crown and your heart, because those connect. If you have an issue with your heart, you can start to fix it and balance it by working on your crown, and vice versa. Your heart's also connected to your root, which happen to be complementary colors. Complementary colors heal one another. The reason why you see the red is because red is the densest, heaviest color, and it happens to be your chakra most connected and closest to the earth. If you have a lot of red issues, you're not going to want to use red. You're going to want to use the complementary color green.
Hmm.
But they are the basis of all of your healing. They hold all of your traumas. They hold all of the good things. It's where you can connect with the ascended masters and your angelic team. Like really, there's nothing that they don't do.
Amazing. And so these are, everyone has their own, and they basically help us to understand ourselves better and to connect even further. Am I hearing that right?
Yes. And you have over 106 minor chakras on the body as well.
Okay.
They go all the way out into your auric field outside of the body. And then there's chakras that run underneath your feet down into the earth too. It's your whole column of light is what it is.
I feel like they kind of determine like how tapped in you are and how expansive you are, right? Like when you're closed down, when you're not feeling well, when you're, when fear does take over. Am I right in saying they kind of close up, and that outer glow, so to speak, kind of it pulls in closer? Whereas when you're in alignment, or you're doing something that brings you a lot of joy, or you're in an expansive mindset or energy, they're going to radiate out further, which just like amplifies all of them.
So let's just talk about the ones within the human body.
Great.
The rest of them stay open. The rest of them are usually open because they're not attached to your humanness.
Okay.
We have an ego, right? We all know this. We don't kill the ego. We don't get rid of the ego. We heal the ego. But when the ego's loud, it starts to affect the flow within your chakras. So the crown chakra holds a lot of grief. Most people don't know this. When you're experiencing grief, there is something triggered within each human being that has the separation come up. So when we're grieving, we miss the person. Yes, there's separation. We could be grieving a loss, a death of something, but also if we've outgrown our friendships or our relationships, well, it triggers that grief of separation that you have as you came into the human world, that separation from oneness, from source, from being, in that galactic womb, so to speak. And it sits there. So the more grief we don't deal with, how strong do you think your connection to source is going to be? How much energy are you going to have flowing through your body? How much of it can you embody when you have this filter of grief not allowing the light to come in?
That makes sense, because your crown chakra, for everybody listening, that's the top, right? That's the first one. Is that correct?
Yeah. I think they number it 7, but yeah, if you're coming down through your body, it's like it sits right on the top of your head or right above your head.
Okay.
It's the first chakra that you're going to channel, and every human being can channel. It just looks different for everybody.
And what do you mean by channel? What does that look or feel or sound like?
So for me, channeling it's allowing the source light, the higher light, universal light, whatever word you want to use. It's what comes down into your body. And one of our purpose, like as a human, is to allow it to flow down, and then we anchor it within the earth. So through this, you're healing yourself, you're healing the earth, you're healing humanity, you're healing the plants, the animals, you're healing everything when you're fully open. So for me, channeling looks like having the words just flow. Yes, I am clairvoyant, so I can see things. Clairsentience is my strongest gift. So with the clairsentience, I channel energies from Yeshua, Melchizedek, galactic beings, whatever I intend to connect with, I channel their frequencies for healing purposes for others. But for other people, it could be that claircognizance, that clear knowing could just amplify immensely. You don't have to know where it came from. You just know. That's channeling. Seeing visions, that's channeling. Being able to know where to touch somebody on their physical body or when they need a hug or, where their muscles are tight or hitting meridian points without knowing their meridian points, that's channeling. And it looks different for everyone. That's another one of my pet peeves. Stop trying to do exactly what everybody else does and
Yeah.
embrace your own gifts.
Yeah, because it like you said, it looks and it feels different to everybody. The way I channel is a different way than you do, which is different than everybody that's listening right now, right? Like it just trust that however you're receiving information or some might call it your spidey senses, right? Like that innate knowing, that nudge to do something, that call to go left instead of right, the feeling like, oh, I need to reach out to that person, right? Like that's all a form of channeling and tapping in, right? And it's just trusting the way that you do it and knowing that it's perfect the way that you do it. You don't need to have some kind of fancy thing. It just is because it's yours.
And you don't need to be like everybody else. Like your gifts are your gifts for a reason. So
Yeah.
work on strengthening those and stop trying to turn into everybody else.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So the crown chakra, what color is that?
So there are two colors. This may confuse people. Um, so for doing the basic, barely awakened people, the crown chakra is a deep purple. The awakened people, it has transformed and it is now a lilac. The energies always shift and change with you, with your ascension, with your awakening, and the evolution of humanity. Nothing stays the same. So it is that lilac. Lilac is actually the color of grief and being in service.
Wow.
I will also add that each chakra has every color of the rainbow. Some are more dominant because of their frequencies. So lilac and like violet are the highest vibrational colors. Therefore, they're up here. We connect them to source and being in service to our fellow man and Gaia. But it is a lilac or a purple.
Okay. So we're receiving, that's kind of our first point of contact, right? That's the crown chakra is where we're receiving information, where we're getting kind of those intuitive hits. Walk us down through the rest of the chakras that are in the physical body.
So they want me to say when your crown chakra is blocked or too open, you have the extreme. You will get headaches. You will have fog. You will have lack of direction and clarity. You will feel a total disconnect that is very uncomfortable. You feel like you're not supported by anything. And that's usually when like a form of depression kicks in.
Hmm.
And so then you go down to your third eye, which is like an indigo. Indigo, that color was placed on the third eye when the first blocks happened in Atlantis, when everybody had a soul contract that their gifts were going to close. So we had harder life lessons. We had to really go about life blindly without having that direction of the universe. As you start to expand and tap into your third eye, the color changes into a gold. When the gold is the dominant color within the third eye, your gifts are pretty fully open. And so that is the third eye. The third eye, you get information from your spirit team, from your guides. It's where you get your clairvoyance or your claircognizance. It's just another chakra to help you tap into that. All your chakras do work together like a fine oiled machine. And then the projecting side is on the front part of your body. And so when you're looking to the future, when you're trying to manifest, when you're putting those visions out there, it comes out of the projecting side of the third eye. So it's just you pull in the energy, direct it to where you want it to go, and send it out. And that's a great way to create and manifest.
Oh, I love that. One of the things that makes the Gutsy Collective really unique is that we invite conversation around energy work and healing inside the space. This is not surface level bullshit, okay? We go into the depths of the conversations that you wish you had somebody to have with. And we talk about and learn about energy work and healing as well. And we talk about it in a way that's very simple to add into your life. One of the most received posts that I shared inside the collective was my simmer pot recipe and what it means and what the different herbs mean. And then other people were sharing their recipes and everyone was going to the store and getting stuff. And it was just really magical to have this space together. We'd love to have you. We'd love to support you. So join. It's free for 2 weeks. Come experience the magic. See how much you can change in a short period of time. Sign up for free at lauraora.com/Gutsy Collective. I also really love how you shared with the crown, how you know if it's too open and what you might experience or vice versa if it's too closed. Can you talk to us about that with each one as well?
Yep. So the third eye, it also is headaches, but you're going to feel it more in your physical eyes and your ears. There's going to be a buildup of pressure that you can't shift. So for me personally, I get severe pain in my teeth, like to the point where I have chipped my teeth by clenching them so much and not realizing I've done it.
Wow.
So if there's physical pain, lack of clarity, because clarity comes with the third eye as well, lack of clarity, your eyes hurt. There might be pressure in your ears. I mean, like, not that it's ringing, my clairaudience is opening, but very uncomfortable pressure. Then there's nothing moving in your third eye. And with the chakras, a lot of times one side will open immensely, overcompensating for the side that you're closing. Most of the issues with the third eye is because people have a fear of being psychic. They have a fear of being in their power. They have a fear of being able to utilize their gifts to create things. It scares people. It's usually a soul contract, soul agreement, or something that happened in a past life, but you still carry it within, every cell of your being in this life and every other lifetime to follow. And then you have the throat chakra. So the throat chakra is the throat chakra is a bitch. The throat chakra is the chakra that, like, it seems every woman in the world has an issue with.
Yeah.
You're not being heard. Even the fear of not being seen is held in the throat. So you have all these fears that nobody's, hearing you, nobody's seeing you. If you were a child, maybe you were supposed to be seen and not heard. Maybe you suffered abuse and tried to tell people and nobody listened, or you were accused of saying things that you didn't say and were punished for it. All these fun things sit in our throat chakra. The throat chakra is like a deep blue. It does hold more color than I think I've seen in any of the other chakras, depending on where your trauma is. So the throat is blue, which is also a color for hiding. The complementary color is orange, which is the color of trauma. So when you overcompensate for the blue, you have hidden trauma. If you love orange and you don't like blue, you got a lot of issues with being seen. So learning the colors and the complementary colors is a great way to heal the chakras. Orange is going to help to heal the blue, and the blue is going to help to heal the orange.
Okay. And I know the throat chakra also is like, if it's blocked or closed up, like you have something to say, or you're holding back with something, or there's a conversation to be had, or something that you want to try, but you're holding that back. And so that literal and energetic pressure that you can feel in there is wild, right? And then, and I'm speaking to this one because this is the one that, I've had the most interactions with, so to speak. That's also where your thyroid is. And so if there's, this is not medical advice, always see your provider. But if you've got a lot of thyroid issues, but everything looks fine, there might be a blockage going on in your throat chakra because there's something that needs to come up and come out of you.
And it's something that most people don't think about. The other I think the throat chakra is the most important chakra out of your whole system because it also acts as a regulator. If it is too tight and not open enough, you're going to have energy stuck up here, which is going to cause the third eye and the crown to go completely out of whack. And then you're going to have issues with those. It's not allowing the source energy to flow down and fill up the high heart and the heart. There's nothing for you to ground, and you feel a total physical body disconnect.
Hmm.
So the
So
throat chakra.
it's kind of the gateway between the top chakras and the rest of your body.
Yes. And a lot of
Interesting.
people will think it's the heart. The heart connects at a different level. But yeah, that throat chakra is what regulates that energy flow throughout your body.
Okay,
So I,
everybody, this is an important one.
yes, it's a very important one. Your high heart is turquoise and coral. The high heart isn't one that's closed on people often. It does close, but it is what connects you fully to that source energy. It's just another point for the source energy and your galactic and spiritual team to communicate with you. It has the colors of the Christ consciousness and Kuan Yin. The heart chakra is the second one I would say that people have issues with. They can't receive love. They can't receive money. They can't receive kindness. Nothing's going right. It's because you have something going on with your heart. And what I hear the most is, well, I give to everybody and I'm always there for people. Well, that's awesome. Like, good for you. But are you allowing the same as you're giving out? If you are not allowing the same as you're giving out, your finances, your creativity, your relationships, all of them are going to suffer. And that is, some see it as green, some see it as the turquoise, the green and the turquoise, because you have the turquoise and the green and they kind of work together. Pink, there's also white in there. It is the biggest chamber. You can go completely down in the chamber. And as you walk down into your heart chakra, the colors are going to continuously change. Right now, for the ascended and awakened people, it is it's a lilac and a pale pink because the crown is connected to the heart.
I see. So the heart chakra is really all about receiving, not just giving, but receiving and having that even exchange of flow. And
Yes,
when it's open too wide, you're pouring out, but you're not receiving back in.
exactly. And when people, I give and I give and I give and I give, okay, well, you just solved the problem of why you're so depleted. So now it's time to give to yourself as much as you're giving to everybody else and receive.
Yeah. That's an important point. It's not just about receiving from others and external, but that receiving actually starts from within.
And the more you receive, the more you actually have to give.
That's so true.
The solar plexus is that communicates. So your crown communicates with your heart, your third eye communicates with the solar plexus, the throat and the sacral, and then the heart and the root again. So now you're working with complementary colors again. The solar plexus, that is where you're going to hold fear about being psychic, especially from past lives. So you start to heal that, your third eye starts to open. They say that it's yellow. It's yellow, it's gold, it's orange, it is even shades of red. This is your power center. This is where you get the courage to walk through the fear. It's where, your chakras are communicating and okay, this is my next decision. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is where I'm feeling this pull. When you don't feel the pull, when you don't feel any passion for life, when you have no motivation, when you don't want to get out of bed, you have solar plexus issues. You're not in your power. You're giving your power away. And I would bet that if you overgive to everybody and you don't receive, the solar plexus is going to be completely out of whack as well.
That makes sense. To me, it feels like your power center, right? It's like the driving force. It's the machine behind the light. And if it's disconnected or closed up, I mean, you have, like you said, there's no motivation. Like you don't want to do anything. Everything feels stupid.
You have no light.
Yeah.
You have no, like you said it, the light. I agree with that 1,000%. You have no light. You have no life force. And when you're calling back your personal power from all time, space, reality, whatever words you want to use, it comes back into the solar plexus.
Mm.
So that you really need to be strong in order to achieve especially if you're on this healing path. Like you need that courage and that strength. It's not an easy path. The sacral is where we hold trauma, all kinds of trauma. It doesn't matter if it's just sexual trauma. Trauma is trauma, and trauma is held within the sacral, just like fear is kept, from moving forward, is kept in the solar plexus. If you're holding so much trauma in the sacral and you're not facing it and you're not releasing it, it's going to block your creativity. You're not going to have much of a sex drive. Intimacy in general is not going to be, it's not going to be at the forefront. Like your energy is not actually going to care because you have blocked it. So healing the trauma, facing the trauma, allowing it to go, not reliving it. When you acknowledge it, you're kind of talking to it. It's saying, okay, well, hey, you see me. When you see it and acknowledge it, then it's going to come to the surface for it to shift out. But yeah, the sacral is definitely focused on trauma. So you're going to heal that by bringing in a royal blue or an indigo color into that orange. And that's going to help to bring up, give it a voice, allow it to be seen and heard without you going through any type of breakdown or healing crisis. All you have to do is call in that complementary color. That's how you're going to heal all of your chakras and balance them. And it's probably the easiest thing that any of us can do.
We're going to come back to that. I'm going to earmark that one because I want to get to the how, which is always so beneficial. So when I'm sensing too with this one, it's also about like not just trauma, like heavily influenced by trauma, but even just stuck emotions. Is that fair to say as well? So if you're
And
not,
past life.
you're not expressing emotion, you're not tapping into, you're not allowing yourself to feel things, it's getting stuck down there.
Well, because trauma is different for everybody.
Right.
So there's a reason why you're not allowing your emotions to come up. There is a reason why you are doing all of that. And that's usually childhood related, which again, trauma to a child is going to look very different. Trauma is still trauma.
Right.
Trauma doesn't have to be, I mean, we think of trauma, we think about, again, sexual assault or domestic violence. It could be as simple as you're a kid in a classroom and you fell down and everybody's laughing at you.
Yeah.
Like what my trauma isn't going to be trauma for somebody else, and vice versa. We're all unique individuals.
Yeah, and it all has its own weight because it's yours. It's not about comparison and who had it worse and all this kind of stuff. It's like if it happened to you and it's causing these effects, like that's yours. Like it's not there to be in comparison to anything or anyone else.
Right, exactly. And a lot of people like to compare, and it just doesn't fit.
Right.
Now, the root chakra is my least favorite chakra.
And why is that?
It holds your human fears. It holds any safety and security issues that you may have had, particularly as a child. So if you had the shittiest childhood, like, where nothing was safe, nothing was secure, a lot of childhood abuse gets stored there and it just accumulates. And when that's tight, you are, what word do I want to use? You're very flighty and flaky. And it's hard for you to maintain any ounce of like integrity because you can't remember what you should be doing. You get a lot of memory issues with the root. So I've learned to write everything down. And that for me, that is a constant work, like in progress. Oh, it's shut again. Let's open it. It seems like a daily thing. You'll know where your weaknesses are. My root chakra, I have my root chakra as pink. That is the dominant color that I see in my root. I don't see red. It is a healing color for me. And when the root is closed, you're not going to ground. You're not going to have that higher vibration that you've worked so hard to accomplish and channeling through your body. It's not going to go anywhere. Once it leaves the chakra, it starts to clear your most important minor chakras. So your knee chakras, your ankle chakras, and your feet chakras will keep you in place, will keep you stuck, will keep you stagnant if those aren't clear and open. And then after that, it flows into the earth star chakra below your feet and then just keeps going.
So is that, I'm kind of sensing like if you're feeling stuck, like you can't move, like physically and energetically. Is that something that can happen with this? Because I don't know. I'm just sensing like if that's not passing through and your knees and your feet and all that stuff are kind of stuck, like I feel like you would also be physically stuck, whether it's actually physically or perceived physically.
You are. What I've noticed with the people I've worked with is the knees and the ankles. When that energy gets to be too thick, it's like you have rope tied around them and you just keep tripping over your own feet, your own energy.
That makes sense. So how do we clear these? How do we get these back in balance? Because you talked about if they're too open versus if they're too closed. So how do you work with that energy to have them more balanced?
So what I teach people to do is, and you have to be patient and you have to do this every day. 1 week, pick one chakra. Bring your total awareness into the chakra. You don't have to know if you're going into it, just where it is. Focus on the center of your forehead, focus on the top of your head, focus on your throat. Focus right in the center of your chest. For a week, bring your awareness into it. It's gonna feel different every day. You don't have to be clairsentient. As soon as you bring your awareness to it, you're going to know. It takes practice, it's a muscle. If you're getting really bad headaches and you feel a lot of pressure on the top of your head, your crown's open too wide. I simply take my hand and I literally manipulate the crown to where it's about the size of the palm of my hand and I'm done. I can do that to any of the chakras. Most people think it's too simple and they need like a big woo woo explanation, but we are magnetic and we can manipulate the energy with our hands. If you feel tightness in any of the chakras, they're too closed. If you just think about something being like this as opposed to like this, you're going to know. If you're getting sick, if the throat chakra is tight or the heart's tight, it's going to lead to a lot of upper respiratory stuff because the energy is not flowing. The good and the not so good. It's not flowing, it's just sitting there.
Right.
So pick a chakra every day, go into it. You can Google the complementary color to the chakra. So again, I'll go back to the third eye. It's an indigo. If something's wrong with your third eye and you're getting headaches and stuff, then you are going to pull the gold, just visualize a ray of gold going into the third eye. And it balances very quickly.
Okay. So it's like, is this like kind of a form of meditation where you're intentionally focusing on something and you're, like you said earlier, it's not something physically that you can touch, but it's an energy that you can sense and feel. So we're kind of meditating or going into a space where you're intentionally shifting the energy around through color and feeling.
In the beginning, I would do a meditation. I mean, again, it can only be 2 minutes. It doesn't have to be long. It's just building that awareness. And then you're going to get to a point that you can do it while you're driving or you're in a store and you're like, wow, that doesn't feel good. Let me just pull some yellow into there or, let me pull some orange or blue into it. And it just becomes second nature. But you have to commit just like anything else and strengthen that muscle.
And know that you have it always. That you don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to buy anything, you don't have to do anything fancy or elaborate. Like you said, I mean, you could probably even be walking through the store and you sense it and you can just pause for a second or even do it while you're walking. If you're doing it with your eyes open, of course, we don't want to be running into cans of fucking soup here, but it's a tool and it's a practice. We have access to so many tools, but we don't use them.
Because we think we can't do them and we have to hire somebody else to do it for us.
Yeah, that's a good reminder. And it comes back to one of your missions, which is to empower people to heal themselves. If you're listening right now, you have the ability to shift these things. It doesn't have to be so complicated. One of the primary reasons I wanted to have this conversation today is to prove that it doesn't have to be complicated. Because you get online and you start seeing and reading things and it just gets really big and it gets really elaborate. And then you're like, I don't know how to do this. And now I need to get certified and I got to take this class. And I mean, don't get me wrong, continuing your education, if you feel called to do that, is very different than feeling like I have to do this to be able to do this.
Yeah, you just honestly, and this is what I tell people, you need to find the right teacher that is going to help you tap into your own gifts so that you can do it for yourself. So you're not relying on other people for the rest of your life, because that's not empowerment. That's giving your power away when you're more than capable of doing it yourself.
Yes. So when all of your chakras are balanced, right? Everything's the right level of openness, the energies are flowing up and down and through. What is possible? What are some things that happen or you might sense or experience when you are fully balanced?
Alignment, flow, things just working out, presenting that question to the universe and having it answered. Watching everybody react to your energy and how your energy is going to shift everybody else's, because that source energy just flows outward. That love just flows outward. You're going to be able to ground your intentions. You're going to be able to create and manifest and achieve whatever is in alignment with you. And the beautiful thing is you're going to be able to tell what's in alignment with you. It's not going to be a guess.
Oh, speak to that more. You're going to be able to tell what's in alignment. You're not going to have to guess. What does that? Talk to me more about that.
When your awareness of your chakras and what they feel like, if you just close your eyes for a minute and you're like, yes, 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 and your chakras are open, and then like, no, 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 you can feel the difference in your body. You know which way your body is going. Oh, no, you need to do this. Nope, that's a bad idea. Let's not do that. It's just you listen to your body. When you're open, you're so connected to source that your body's guiding you on what's the answer. Do you go left? Do you go right? Well, just tap into your body for a moment, because you're connected. You're not separate from God. You're not separate from the angels. You're co-collaborating with them in this life as you are a divine being and you have that angelic light in you. So allow yourself to co-collaborate with them and stop fighting it.
Stop fighting it. Oh, isn't that the moral of every story? Is go with the flow, allow it, stop fighting it, stop letting your ego and your physical body run the show here. I think this is just such a great reminder that we have so much ability, so much, and we downplay it and we go outside of ourselves and we make it way more complicated than it needs to be. And I love the way that you've explained it today, where it's like, here's what it is. Here's what it feels like when it's not good. And here's how you fix it. Ta-da! Like magic, literal fucking magic. You just have to be willing to dedicate your time to do it.
Like, are you worth it? And the answer is yes.
Every single time. Katie, you are just absolutely fantastic. I want to give a quick shout out to Katie. Katie is a teacher. She hosts classes. If you're interested in the color mirrors, she teaches classes and helps people with learning more about that. And if you want to get more into energy, please, she's the real fucking deal. You want to get in her world. So Katie, where's the best place that people can get in touch with you?
So I'm on Facebook. It's just Katie Moore, nothing fancy. And I have a group that is Primordial Witches, which is everything energy. Or you can email me at happinessvibrationalhealing@gmail.com.
Fantastic. And Katie's got an amazing offer to share with you. I think 35% off your first session, correct?
Yes, absolutely. If you want to know more about this fun stuff, I pretty much do whatever is in your best interest, since most of my stuff is channeled. The price is $132, but for everybody new and everybody listening to this, it's 35% off.
Amazing. We'll make sure to put those links and the details in the show notes. And Katie, I have to know, what does gutsy mean to you?
Gutsy's stepping through that fear. It's showing up as your authentic self and not giving a shit what anybody else thinks and doing what lights you up.
Damn straight. Damn straight. Thank you for your time and your energy and your wisdom today. I love this conversation and I love you.
I love you too. It's awesome connecting and seeing you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Of course. There's so much information about energy work and healing work, and you can go a lot of different directions. And I'm sure that you have heard lots of different things. So I'd love to know, what is something new that you took away from today? Come over onto my platform. I'm on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, and find the post about this episode and just share something new that you learned today, or maybe something that surprised you. I am at that Laura Aura across the board. And until I see you next time, stay gutsy.